Good evening and welcome to this edition of Resource PNG. A working committee led by the Constitutional and Law Reform Commission is pushing for a review on the environment and mining laws relating to management and disposal of mine tailings in Papua New Guinea. This committee met late last month and has drafted 19 recommendations so far to present to the Justice Minister, Ano Pala, to present to Parliament for approval. On tonight's show, we present a report on this working committee's recent meet in Port Moresby. Also on the show is a report on an MOU signed by NPCP and PNG Power last week.
Thank you, Brian. All right. Good.
But first, we take a look at the working committee findings.
A working committee led by the Constitutional and Law Reform Commission is pushing for a review on the environment and mining laws relating to management and disposal of mine tailings in Papua New Guinea. The committee is made up of members from the Mineral Resources Authority, the Department of Mineral Policy and Geohazards Management, Environment and Conservation, Health, Mines and Petroleum, Environment, Research and Development at the University of Papua New Guinea. Following the launch of an issue paper on findings of alarming rates of waste disposal by mines in PNG, this committee was formed. The committee has drafted 19 recommendations so far to present to the Justice Minister Ano Pala to present to Parliament for approval. A public seminar was hosted at the Hideaway Hotel in Port Moresby to give an opportunity to the public and other stakeholders to make final recommendations before an approval is made. The public seminar was well attended. Those present were executives of various stakeholders from the mining industry, government, representatives of the people in the special mining lease areas from different mines, and the private sector. They were all present to hear and give their views on the 19 recommendations sought by Working Committee. Among some of these were banning of deep-sea and river mine waste disposal, regular consultation between stakeholders, specific legislation or regulation on tailing waste management, Department of Environment and Conservation to audit regularly, adequate feasibility studies for tailing facility, establishment of a body overseeing health and social impact assessments, independent EIAs by DEC, standardization of various compensation calculations, environment bonds from mining companies, mine closure plans to be public, revision of impacted communities, engage independent health experts, regulatory bodies to work independently of mines. The committee had gone on an 18-month tour collecting information on mine tailings waste disposal management following the launching of its detailed issuance paper in 2013. Secretary of the Commission, Dr. Eric Kwa, thanked Oktedi and Pogara mines for their participation. He said the Lear and Ramu nickel mine in Madang were amongst those who were reluctant to participate.
And so in 2012, we decided that we needed to work on these terms of reference. So we organized a small team within the office to try and collect data, to talk to our stakeholders, and get enough information to put together an issues paper. Now, of course, according to our process, all we are doing is we are raising the issues in whatever form it takes. We are not taking a position. We are merely raising issues that we hope will trigger discussions which will then also trigger the stakeholders who are involved, who are directly or indirectly affected by it, to come forward and offer information, offer data that will then help us to formulate a proper recommendation to government on a particular issue. So, on terms of reference number 6, on mine tailings, we raised those issues and we launched it in 2013. Now, once we launched the report, of course, it triggered all kinds of comments. And I can assure you that we have felt a full brunt of negative criticisms by different stakeholders out there. And we also received very, very interesting and very good positive feedback from a lot of people. Now, I can assure you that talking to people on the ground, wherever I've gone, and particularly those whose provinces have mining projects, they've been very, very positive about the report, because it's not what we recommended or what we are talking about, it's the fact that we have brought the issues to the front. The issues are now held in the public, and people are able to look at it, and people are able to discuss it. And so I've been really heartened by these comments by ordinary Papua New Guineans who are telling me, go ahead and complete the report, because we need to put an end to this issue in terms of the way we want to determine the future. This is something that has been developed over time and through wide consultations. Now, of course, we visited Okteri mines and we visited Pogara. I need to mention them because they were the two mines that have been very, very cooperative with us. They came forward, they assisted, and they helped us in various ways to try and ascertain the details, the information relating to mine tailings. So you will find in our report that we have made a lot of mention of Pogera and Okteri.
Stay with us. We'll be back after this short break. Welcome back. You're with Resource PNG. The Constitutional and Law Reform Commission has asked for a review on the environment and mining laws relating to the disposal of mine tailings in PNG. The committee had gone on an 18-month tour collecting information on mine tailings waste disposal management following the launching of its detailed issuance paper in 2013. The topic of deep-sea tailings disposal and river tailings disposal was heavily debated. We continue with the presentation by the Constitutional and Law Reform Commission.
There are a total of 8 mines in PNG. Tolokuma, Simberi, and Sinavit are gold mines. Okteri is a gold and copper mine. Pogera, Lihir, and Hidden Valley are gold and silver mines, whilst Ramu is a nickel and copper mine. It was found that these mines do dispose their tailings into the nearest waterways, that's either the sea or river. This was one topic that was heavily debated.
One of the recommendations, for example, on a total ban on riverine disposal. That's an easy thing to say, but I think the complexity of the issue needs to be understood first before you get there, because when somebody wants to build a mine, they have to do assessment of how they will deal with the tailings. In Pogera, we have done riverine because it's unstable country. If we build a mine tailings dam in Pogera, it will definitely fail. So that's the reason why a riverine system was approved at the time it was approved. And the approval relates to an economic opportunity for a country to use the resource. If we say no riverine, Pogera would not have been built. The economic benefit of that mine has to be considered as part of that decision. We can't just say ban riverine. It has to be done on a total basis. So I think that needs to be flushed out a little bit more. I don't think just saying based on emotion or or based on other evidence alone to say let's ban riverine, I think the country will suffer as a result of that, a few sentences in the recommendations. So I think we need to be careful and mindful about that when we are doing our recommendations. A similar one that I have just seen is on the health impact assessment. Social impact, health impact, environmental impact are all done as part of the proposals for development. So it's already done. The issue that you have in one of the recommendations recommended is that if the health department says no, then the Director for Environment should not issue an environment permit. Again, I don't think it's as simple as that. There has to be some justification for it, or better put on the health department to say why it is saying no. He can't just say no. And a lot of work needs to be done for that to happen. So I think there needs to be recognition that there are many things that fall behind what has been recommended that may not have been fully thought through carefully.
The committee told the seminar that these recommendations would be too late to apply on existing mines, but it is important that the national government consider them for future prospects. Dr. Sylvester Kotapu, a medical doctor by profession and a private environment research analyst, said it is very important that all health aspects of mine tailings are considered by all stakeholders. Dr. Kotapu was one of the influential researchers whose studies along the Angabanga River at the Tolokuma Gold Mine first raised widespread concern regarding mine tailing waste disposal, especially on the health of impacted communities.
Under the same recommendation, we are also suggesting that there should be a greater liaison with the Department of Health, the National Institute of Standards and Industrial Technologies, National Statistical Office, National Economic and Fiscal Commission, and all other related monitoring agencies to assist and manage the monitoring of health, economic and environmental impacts of tailings waste disposal through an amendment to the Environment Regulations, Permit Act, the Permit Regulation. So again, we are suggesting a small change to the Environment Permit Regulation to allow for greater cooperation, and that not only the MRA, Department of Mining, and DEC should be the only three key players with the industry, but we're also suggesting other agencies, Department of Health, Department of Community Development in relation to social issues, they need to be involved as well. We need to bring in one or two other agencies that will assist the MRA and Department of Mining to do a good job. So we're suggesting that this particular process must be opened up. This particular process must be mandatory.
The committee led by the Constitutional Law and Reform Commission is pushing for independent and regular environmental studies into all the existing and future mine tailing disposal management. The committee has also put on notice concerned authorities such as the Department for Environment and Conservation, Health and the Mineral Resources Authority to publish up-to-date health and social effects on populations within the special mining lease areas. These recommendations, including those raised during the seminar, will be presented to the Minister for Justice and Attorney General Arno Pala to present to Parliament. Within the next 2 months, interested stakeholders have been invited to give their views on the recommendations before submissions are made to the Minister.
And we'll be back to wrap things up on Resource PNG. Thank you for staying with us. The National Petroleum Company PNG and PNG Power Limited have ventured into developing gas for power generation. National Petroleum Company PNG will negotiate with PNG LNG developer ExxonMobil to purchase gas to supply to PNG Power. Both state-owned entities officially signed a memorandum of understanding on Friday last week. Here's that report.
National Petroleum Company PNG and PNG Power Limited have ventured into developing gas for power generation. National Petroleum Company PNG will negotiate with PNG LNG developer ExxonMobil to purchase gas to supply to PNG Power. Both state-owned entities, SOE, officially signed a memorandum of understanding on Friday last week.
This MOU signing is really not a binding agreement, but it's only a MOU signing. Basically, what it does is allows us to work together, the NPCP as an entity and PNG Power, who provides power to Papua New Guinea.
For too long, PNG Power has been using thermal energy or diesel and hydro to power the only two power generating systems in the country, which are Port Moresby Power System and the Ramu system. However, with the working arrangement binded in the MOU, both SOEs can work together to realize the possibility of using gas as an alternative fuel to generate power.
So this MOU basically allows us to work on sourcing fuel, which is one of the key things that PNG Power requires for power generation, whether it be gas or naphtha or diesel, whatever the fuel source is that we will try to work within the understanding that we are reaching to source and provide to PNG Power, and PNG Power then can use that to generate power and basically do its job of distributing power to our citizens. So that's really, in essence, why we signed the MOU. One of the key things is really working with sister or brother SOE, if you like. It's, seeing where the synergies are, and that's what we are seeing. The synergy is that we are an oil and gas company. We in a position to negotiate, look for the fuel source that they need, and they generate power. So we're trying to maximize on the synergies that exist within the two entities, and hopefully we can improve the lives of our citizens. And one such project is the Port Moresby gas supply project that we're working on right now. We're working on all the engineering work, commercial negotiations going on. But that's sort of the first project that we see us supplying gas, getting gas from PNG LNG project. We have partnered there, but we will negotiate with the PNG LNG project operator and get gas and supply to the IPP or PNG Power for power generation. So,
with National Petroleum Company PNG taking charge of the conditioning and stripping of the gas and eventually supplying it to PNG Power, PPL has optimized the opportunity by collaborating all expertise in the new business arrangement that would be overseen by Independent Public Business Corporation or IPBC. The MOU strives to develop affordable electricity supply solutions, and one avenue is to deliver the NPCP-operated POM gas supply project that is progressing well.
PNG Power sees this as a milestone achievement in terms of horizontal arrangement between the two sister companies in our SOE setup, and of course overseen by IPBC. That horizontal relationship arrangement basically is to, as my brother managing director has mentioned, it's basically to synergize in terms of consolidating our expertise, our professional expertise, to finding the way forward of alternate fuel. And that mobilization basically sets the platform to create a sustainable challenge that is at the end in terms of economic growth, and that's for the well-being of our people ultimately. So we in PNG Power are excited about it. In PNG Power, we'd like to be seen as the end user, and NPCP basically is now venturing into a new chapter in the growth of the gas sector, our industry in our business, and we'd like to tap into the gas industry eventually, with NPCP taking charge of the conditioning, stripping of gas, and eventual us realizing it at the tail end of the gas process, gas streaming process or stripping process. So for that matter, we're excited about that venture, and we'd like to develop it further into an agreement eventually.
Once completed, National Petroleum Company will buy gas from PNG LNG project, condition it near the LNG plant site, and supply it to PNG Power for power generation. Negotiations with ExxonMobil will follow suit, and it's anticipated the new arrangement will in the long run address the ever-increasing demand for energy supply in the country.
Well, that's all we have for you on tonight's Resource PNG. If you have any queries or suggestions, or you simply want to know more about the program, do email us on this address. That's resourcepng@emtv.com.pg. Or you can check out MTV online, that's www.emtv.com.pg, and go to our Resource PNG page, or you can check out our page on Facebook. Until another edition of Resource PNG, have a pleasant evening.